Hi again, Engineering 1210. Andy here, still carrying on with some more advice for your tutorial problem that your instructor's given you. And you'll remember that where I left off was messing around with fillets in the keychain. Let me show you something different now. So here's the keychain, got rid of the fillets. I want to show you something else. In this case, we're going to go back to the original sketch, and I'm going to edit that sketch. Instead of having just this, this straight line bottom, I want to make something a little bit more interesting. Now, I think what I'll do is try this tool, a spline. And I'll like to try and draw a spline, which is a curve instead of this straight line. Now there's a couple ways I can do it. One is I can highlight this and I can choose to replace the entity. If I click that, then I can replace it with spline. Haven't done that yet, sorry. Where was I? Oh yes, replace entity. I want to replace that line with this one. Now, in doing that, it did something kind of weird. That's okay though. We can handle weird a little bit, and I can just move these around. I'm just clicking these points, and you'll see that the spline you create, you can SolidWorks does weird things with the splines. Sometimes when you make the tangent too big, it jumps to some hyperspace. So you have to be very gentle when you move this around. And you can play around with that. Now, I'm just going to leave it like that for a moment. Now remember when we looked earlier, we looked at relationships. So if I click this point, there's no relationships currently for that point. If I click that point and this line, if I go Control, click that line, then I've got, you can see here, the selected entities are the line and the point. If I make those coincident, now I've got that curvy line on the other line. That's kind of nice. I've locked it on there. I'm just going to get rid of that radius. I'm going to get rid of that. And you'll see now I've got this kind of thing attached. I can move it up and down, but it's always going to stay on the other line. And I can drag it around and shape it, but it's always going to stay on that other line. So I can basically go and trim that. Boom. Now, that's kind of ugly. And there's a sharp corner there. So again, with relationships, if I click this spline, so now I've selected the curve, and I select Control and that line, now there's some different relations I could use. The one I'd like would be tangent. So now no matter what I do, the end of that spline is going to be tangent to the curve. And that's kind of good. Now I can move these around. Those points. And I wonder, maybe what I'll do here is I'll trim that and that and that. And they're all gone. So now, without going through the relationships that I've just shown you, I've got this end, the same idea. that it's still on that line. It's kind of nice to have it smooth, so I'm going to do another one of those. Select that line, the curve, control, select that line, and I'll make that tangent. So now I've got this fairly interesting curve here. Not sure I like it very much. One of the things about spline curves is that if you get too many points, they become what's called unfair. It's not that they're cheating, it's that they're not smooth. And you can play around with them and you'll never get them to be fair very easily. And so one thing that you can do is, if you double click on the spline, you can relax the spline. And that will change some of the ways that it's set up. And that helps. You can click the point, and we should be able to delete the point. Yeah. And so now we've made the spline that has fewer parameters, which usually makes for a better result. There we go. Not saying that's beautiful, but it's different. Let's see what happens. And now the wrap that I had done has an error because, look at that. It shows up with a red X, and here when I click that wrap, the sketch that's behind it, and if I expand the wrap, shows me that there's an error, and the error is that 3 millimeter dimension to the bottom line doesn't work anymore because there's no bottom line. So I can go in, I can edit this sketch, and if I click that and delete it, that dimension should go away. Now it doesn't work in terms of the wrap because the wrap was trying to wrap through an object that isn't there. So I can either move that sketch up a little bit, and unfortunately with this mode I don't have, whoops, there. See what happens now. There, that error's gone away. That's in a slightly better location. I might also want to change my lettering. No, I won't do that. I'm gonna go back to this sketch and edit that curve a bit. That's better. Not saying that's beautiful, but it's at least not straight lines, and you know, not everything should be done with straight lines. So that's all I have for now. Thanks for paying attention, and hope this helps you in doing your own tutorial assignment for 1210. Talk to you soon.